Hello, dear students. I hope all of you are keeping well. So, in our previous session, we discussed about how to find the grid reference or how to locate the places with reference to the grid grid values. Is not so? We discussed that 4-figure grid reference and also the 6-figure grid references. So I think all of you have understood those things. If you have not understood, then you please try to study it again and try to get it. And still it is difficult for you, you can ask me, consult me. And when we are in the online video classes, by that time you may also ask me, so that any problem is there, that can be solved out and sorted out. Okay, now we will discuss the next topic is measurement of area. So measurement of area, finding the quantity of an area. Measurementing the area means that is nothing but finding the how much area, how much place is occupied by one particular town or a particular region. That is finding out. Okay, so measurementing or calculating total occupied area. Okay, so let us try to see what is given here in your book. You can see here is one example, and the area of the topographical map is covered by a number of grid squares. So grid squares are already there in the topographical map. So it becomes easy for anyone to find out the area from the topographical map. So each square measures 2 square centimeter. So all of you know each of the square. Okay, here one square will measure what? 2 square centimeter, means 2 centimeter in this way, 2 centimeter in this way, 2 centimeter in this way, 2 centimeter in this way. So it become 2 centimeter into 2 centimeter. It is written here. I think all of you understand. And that become what? As per our normal scale, that is 2 centimeter equal to 1 kilometer. So it become 1 square kilometer area. Okay, so 1 square kilometer area or 1 kilometer into 1 kilometer area. Since 2 centimeter on map are equivalent to 1 kilometer on the ground. Thus, each grid square measures 1 square kilometer area. So, if you read it once again, you can easily understand. So, each grid square, that means one grid square will be is of 1 square kilometer area. So, there are 5 grid square, then you can say there is 5 square kilometer area. So similarly 10 grid square equal to 10 square kilometer area. Like that way which is understood and it can be measured. Okay, now look at here. The area of the map can be calculated by counting the number of grids in the given area. So we have to, how it can be done? By counting the number of grid in the given area. So very nice example is given in your book. You can easily do that one. Let us see here. See in your book, all of you might have opened your book. Please try to see that one. You see there is a calculating that one. Count the complete square centimeter contained within the area. So count the complete square contained within the area. So now here in this example, there are, you go on counting the complete square. This is 1 complete square, 2, and you can see 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you see 8, 9, and 10. This one, last one is not a. So this one is not a complete square. So there are number of complete square is given 10. So it become how much it become? It become 10 square kilometer area. Is not so? Okay, now let us see. Now you calculate the half square kilometer. Okay, half square area. Okay, how many half squares are there? Number of half square, you can see there are 2 are calculated here. You can see which are half square. That is almost divided, almost half of that square area is there. Okay, so you can think of it. This one is half square. Okay, next one half, you can see another half, you can see here. Okay, another, sorry, here another one is here. So this is half. So 2 half square becomes 1 square kilometer. And similarly you can see the next one is your number of 2/3 square, means out of 3 part 2 part is covered, 2 part is occupied. So that type of 2/3 squares are how many, that if you go on calculating you will see all this one. Now 5 such things are there. And how will you know that one? 2/3, 5 are there, then what will be the total area of that one? How will you calculate that one? Just then you, what you have to do, you have to make 5 such things are there. 5 into 2/3 you can make, and you will see it become what, 10 divided by 3, it become 10 divided by 3. And if you go on calculating, it become 3.3 square kilometer area. Okay, similarly let us see this number of half square. 2 is there, 2 2 such half square are there. And half square means what, 1/2, is not so? 2 into 1/2 you can make, and it become how many kilometer, how many square kilometer? 1 square kilometer it will come, is not so? Like that way you have to calculate. Now let us see this other one. 1/3 square kilometer, 1/3 squares are there. How many? 8 were there. So 8 into 1/3. Okay, 8 into 1/3 equal to how much it will come? So it become 8/3. Also 8/3 means if you go on calculating, it will come 2.666, like that it will come, is not so? So you have to take only the first digit. After decimal you have to take on up to 1 digit, and you can add up all this one, and you will get the squares. Okay, so most of the time in the exam you are not asked to calculate the half or that one. This partial squares are not asked, but who knows, sometime it may be asked. So I wish all of you should learn this process of calculating, or learn the method of calculating the area looking at the grid squares. Okay, so please try to practice it properly and keep them in your memory. Okay, now it is not a difficult task. I hope all of you can do it. Okay, let us study the conventional signs and symbol. So it is also very important in most in every topographical map. At the downside, this conventional sign and symbol will be given, but it is always desirable that if you have some idea, if you have seen this conventional sign and symbol earlier before you attempt the exam, then it will be nice enough. You can save a lot of time, because during the exam time there is a race against time. You have to go ahead within that limited period of time. So you should not waste time in searching for the sign and symbol. So that is why it is always asked you to read and learn all this one beforehand, so that you will have you can identify this places or different kind of characters in the map without wasting much time in search for this sign and symbol there in your topographical map. So that is why you should learn it in advance before you sit for the exam. So let us try to see what is this conventional sign and symbol. Conventional sign means that is commonly used sign and symbol. That type of sign and symbols are commonly used throughout the world. Anywhere the topographical map is prepared, not only in India but also anywhere in the world, in any country, these sign and symbols are very commonly used almost everywhere. Okay, so there may be a little bit change, but it does not make much changes. Okay, so that is why it is always desirable, it is always advisable that you should try to have a learning of all this one. If you keep this sign and symbol in your memory, it becomes easy for you to identify the characteristics. Okay, so you please try to read all this one and try to see there. About 9 different kinds of sign and symbols are used there in your book. The first is your you can see the boundaries, and boundaries are given in black color. So boundary lines, so boundary lines are of different kinds. So for international boundary, how it will be shown in a thicker black line, and for the state boundary it will be a little bit thinner in comparison to the international boundary. Like that way it all this one. And district boundary is still they are short, they are thinner, and that will be a little bit different. You see there is the difference between the state boundary and the in this district boundary. Do you notice the difference? Dots are here, but dots are not here. Got it? Okay. So in the district boundary, dots are not there, but tehsil boundary, etc., only dot are marked. Like that way, these are all the difference in sign and symbol. So if you observe it minutely, you can easily notice all these differences. Okay. Now you see the roads and railways. So this metallic roads are generally marked with the red color. Then you see other one is your unmetalled roads, that will be marked with this type of dotted line. Okay. So this metallic roads generally that will be marked with this type of things, and with the milestone, everything that will be found there. Okay. Then unmetalled roads generally will be with the dot line. Okay. Then pack track. Pack track means what? You may be thinking, where animals can move. If you go to the rural area, generally there is no road, there is no formal road, or no road is built up there. Only when the animals move regularly on a particular direction or particular path, then that will be made into it would look like a road. Okay. So that is called pack track. Pack means nothing but animals, your pet animals, wherever they move regularly, that will build up a road like path. Okay. So they are marked with the red broken line. You please try to read it carefully. Okay. Similarly, cart track. All of you know where the cart can move. Okay. So similarly, footpath is there. Okay. Footpath is marked with the red dots. Okay. Then broad gauge. Broad gauge means what? These are this wider railway line. Okay. Nowadays, whatever railways lines you are able to see, they are all broad gauge. But there was earlier time there were meter gauge also. They are narrower than this available this common railway line. Okay. So now broad gauge line are the common one, but meter gauge, it was earlier time. Its length was only within 1 meter to it was from one line of this rail to another line of that one. There was a gap of 1 meter. Okay. So now this is about 1 point. So this broad gauge is about 1.69 meter. That means it is more than 1. Yeah, it's more than 1 meter. So this become broader, wider. So the commonly nowadays whatever that you see nearby you, all are broad gauge railway line. But the meter gauge line, if you go to Darjeeling and other type of hill station, the near this the meter gauge railway lines will be shown, and that are still narrower. They are smaller in size. I mean the length between the gap between the two rail. Okay, these are called rails. So on which the wheel of the train roll, that are called the rail. So the gap between the two rail is called the gauge. Okay. So if they are wider enough, they are called broad gauge, and if they are narrower, they are called, if their gap is only 1 meter, then that is called meter gauge, and if it is still smaller, then that is called a narrow gauge. Got it? I think all of you know about that one. So this length of that one is already given there. You please try to read it, and how that could be understood looking at the sign and symbol, that you need to learn. Now level crossing. Level crossing means where the road is crossed by a railway line, or a railway line is crossed by the road. So that type of thing are called the level crossing. Next, railway station, railway line with station, how it will be marked. RS will be there. Okay. You can see all this sign and symbol. Now turn to the other page. Here you can see bridges. Bridges are again of different type. Bridge, that is overhead structure. If it is flyover, then that will be found in this way. And railway line with bridge. all this will be found in this way. So please try to see. Then cutting, then constructing where the low hills and are present. So in that type of cases it will be found in this way. So look at all this one sign and symbol and try to keep them in your memory. Tunnels, how it is made, how will be visible there in your map. Then similarly you see the water bodies, how the water bodies are marked. Stream will be marked, river, then tidal river, all these sign and symbols are given here. Please try to go on reading all this one. So it is there is nothing to explain, only you need to read and understand each and everything. Whichever word is difficult for you to understand, please refer to your dictionary, and also whenever it is still difficult for you, you may please consult me, I will tell you surely. Okay, now you can see the other things, other sign and symbols also, and you all of you please try to read. I would like to tell you one more thing here. If you see towards the last of your this lesson, you will see colors and their significance. So this is one of the important part of your learning. You please try to see black color is meant for what things. Okay, river bank, dry tank, broken ground, dry stream, all these are given here. Don't forget to read. All this, each and every page is valuable for you to study and try to know about this one. Similarly, you see the blue color, it is water bodies or lake, canal, wells, etc. Green color is meant for what? Yellow color for what? All this color and their significance are given here. Don't forget to read all this one. These are all essential for you to know. Okay, and similarly you read the other one, land use and occupation. Okay, so what type of land will be meant for what type of occupation? You see, occupation is given by this side, and the main feature of the land is given here. Agriculture will be practiced on level land with yellow bars and many well. All these are the sign and symbols or the identification mark for this agriculture occupation. And for lumbering, lumbering means what? This wood cutting. So wherever the forest is available in that area, this lumbering activity is done. Okay, now cattle rearing, how you can do this pasture, meadows, grassland, presence of road in highland region. If all these are the sign and symbol identifying mark for having this cattle rearing activity, okay, or cattle rearing occupation. Similarly, mining is how can you ascertain that there will be mining activity? Then you see stony waste is there, quarries are there, limestones are there, then all there this identification mark for mining occupation. Similarly, fishing where there is plenty of water, trade where there is dense settlement is there, trade may be one occupation, and large settlement means there may be industry, and hotel and inns may be if the hotel and inns are there, then that become the that is an indication of the tourism occupation. Like that way, all of you please try to read. All these are very important for you. Try to go on reading page after page, everything thoroughly. Okay, you have enough time. Don't waste away your time. Instead, you try to read all this one and try to understand each and every word and every aspects there. I hope all of you are good children. You can do it. So don't waste away your time, and if there is still any problem left, you can ask me, and after that one we will end the discussion related to this topic, and we will try to discuss the answers of the questions too in a brief manner. Okay, so this lesson 1, 2, 3 are important for you to go for this lesson 4 number. Otherwise it is difficult for you to attempt the map question directly without knowing the elementary thing or preliminary information. Okay, so please try to study this lesson number 3 once again carefully before you finish it. Okay, so thank you very much for listening today.